I'm Bridget and I'm from Suburban Sandcastles and I'm here with Cara. I've just finished a class with her doing yoga at her fabulous studio Live Life Well in Chelsea. And it was a great reminder of how much what's going on the mat is reflective of what's happening off the mat in your life, because I really struggled with balance just then and fell over a lot. So Cara, I'd love to hear about your story in terms of what brought you to yoga, how long you've been doing it, and a bit about your journey.
Okay, cool. Well, I've been practicing for 5 years, but I don't have the conventional way of coming to yoga. I actually came to yoga by signing up for teacher training. It was my first class after I'd already signed up, because I wanted to do Pilates, and my teacher, Michelle Merrifield, actually offered Pilates and yoga. You could do both. So I was like, oh, well, I'll just do both. And so I came to that, but when I look back on it, I had severe anxiety at the time. I'd had a back surgery, and I'd had all these complications. I had severe depression and anxiety. So that's how I came to my first yoga class. But what I found when I did the teacher training was I was already living a lot of the principles, because my mum had had breast cancer and she had changed her whole lifestyle to be holistic. She was meditating, we were all eating a lot more vegan food, and we were working on like inner wellness. So, and I'd kind of been brought up with that for the last 5 years. So for me, when I started learning about the philosophy of yoga, I realized that, oh, this is already kind of what I'm doing, but there's just more of a guideline, you know, there's something for me to follow now. You know, the principles can be everywhere. So for me, I was kind of like organically already doing it, but when I found yoga, I just felt like I was home, and so I started teaching. But usually you don't start teaching and then come to yoga, but for me, that's actually how I did it.
So it really sounds like yoga almost was just what you needed to help you with that journey, you know, with your mum.
Absolutely.
And, you know, there's kind of no accidents that you had to do yoga as part of the Pilates training. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I know I also found solace in yoga during a challenging period in my life when I was trying to have a baby and, you know, getting over a miscarriage. And I wonder, you know, in your experience, you have, you know, so many women coming through the door and on the mat, you know, every day. What do you find in their stories and in their journeys? What do they sort of seek solace in yoga for?
Everyone comes for different reasons, but probably the biggest is stress, which then, with the stress of life these days, women have to wear so many hats. We've got to have the perfect body, be the perfect mother, you know, perfect wife, work. We've got to do everything, like we're the whole package, whereas we never used to have that much stress. And I think with stress comes anxiety, or loss of identity. It's where we kind of don't know where we fit, or we have that like no self-belief, and we're coming from a place of lack a lot of the time. So I think everything's really coming from a heightened sense of stress, but there's different, everyone's gets different, I guess,
triggers for
that stress. Yeah. So, but my thing is, I think women are natural nurturers, so we naturally are nurturing the people around us, and we're always coming last. And so I see a lot of women that have babies, or have had babies and been home for a long period of time, and the real sense of that they don't know what their purpose is anymore once, you know, they leave the nest, or and they kind of find, or even if they become mothers and then their identity is being thrown because they've given up work, or they don't know how to be a mother, and then that's it's a lot of it is with identity, which is just that self-belief and really understanding what your purpose is,
and I think also connection. And the injected beliefs too, you know, there's such a, I mean, I know I had this fantasy about what motherhood was going to be, and that it was going to be my everything, and I think whenever we have a fantasy like that, there's something that's going to happen to bring us back, you know, and so yoga is a really great way to come back into yourself and I guess get authentic and hear yourself, you know, amongst all the other voices, which there's so many of those voices in everything, but I think especially in motherhood.
Yeah, I think that it's just more so we just lose that connection with ourselves. We spend the first half of our life living the life our parents, or we think we're meant to be living, and then you start living a life, then you start realising, oh, that maybe isn't the life, or you're listening to the wrong people, and it's about starting to pave the path you want, but to do that correctly, to be really connected and be doing the real purpose, or what you're really meant to be doing, you really need to be connected with yourself and with the source. And if you don't spend time with yourself and you don't learn to love yourself, then you're always coming from the wrong place. You're not coming from your true self. You're coming from this like lack of I'm not good enough the way I am, or I'm not doing the right thing, or you're coming from the people that are telling you what to do, or the voices in your head, or the voices, external voices. They're all it's kind of a mix of everything. But and everyone, you know, is like in a different place. But I think yoga really helps you connect with that and brings you back to yourself. And I think of yoga as the study of the self. And the more time I spend on the mat, and it's not even the mat, it's just the more time I spend doing yoga and the wider yoga, not even just physical asana. The breathing, meditation, and just looking at the principles of yoga. And the sutras is the deeper I start to, you know, untangle all this stuff that I've created over over the years that isn't real. It's just junk.
It's your perspective on that. I think we get so trapped in seeing that the way the world is the way we see the world is the way the world is, but it's not. It's our perspective and it's a filter that we put on it. And you know, it's so much about seeing that what someone's doing to you is not them doing it to you. It's your perception and them reflecting back to you stuff that you need to deal with.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, for me, I had a lot of healers telling me I wasn't in my power for a long time, and I really struggled with this concept of power. Like, what are you talking about? And so all these different teachers and gurus that I have, and it took ages for me to really understand what that meant. And you know, now I understand what that is, and it's, you know, I probably understand like this level, and there's like so many levels as I know with yoga. But
stop growing.
Stop growing. But being really true, and actually, I think a big realization was the way I see myself is not how other people see me. And whether that's you see yourself in one way because it's what you want to believe about yourself, or you don't actually see the greatness. It's different for some people. Believe they're one way, but they're completely the other way because they don't want anyone to see that. But everyone can. And the other way is you don't actually see your greatness or believe your greatness or step into the greatness that you have. And that's a lot what I see with women is they're not actually honouring or being the person that they can be or are that we can all see, but maybe they're, you know, sitting in a space of lack. I'm not good enough, or you know, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not fit enough. Loving enough.
It's all because this is what they perceive that they should be because someone else has said that these are all things you should be, rather than listening to where it is.
Which we all are anyway, because we all come from love, but we all come from this space. But if we, you know, it's just through life we get a bit distracted.
I've heard it said that babies are born authentic. You know, like we are all born like exactly as we should be. And it's all the outside forces.
The learnt behaviour.
Yeah, and that's not a negative thing either, because that's always asking us to get back into that space. You know, that any challenge we have, or any of those things in life that are difficult or elating, are all asking us to get back and go, okay, what's your purpose? What are you here for?
And I truly believe, like, you as parents, I mean, I am a parent, and when you're a parent, you do your best, and it's not necessarily anything you do. You can tell your children you love them, they're beautiful, they're smart, you know, as much as you like, but it's experiences that we have that start these triggers that mean that we don't think we're good enough in whichever way we're looking at it. And then from there we create these beliefs about ourselves that we're coming from those beliefs, the negative core beliefs or the, you know, things that aren't really true. We're coming from those places rather than the honest place. But, you know, this is what I love about yoga. It's all self-inquiry. It's also studying your behaviours, your habits, your thoughts, your patterns in life, whether it's what you're eating, whether it's what you're drinking, the people you hang around with, the jobs you take. You know, it's all these things. And when you start doing the time on the mat, you then start noticing whatever's happening in your practice, like you were saying before, whether you're, you know, off balance, meaning you're kind of off center in your mind, you're letting these thoughts come and distract you, or whether you tend to give up easy on the mat when it gets hard, you're just like, oh, it's just too hard, and you always take the easy option, or whether you're always pushing, push, and sometimes you learn to, whatever you're doing on the mat is generally what you're doing in life, and as soon as I notice it, I'm like, that's why I'm doing that. And
it gets you back into balance. I know when I was going through the aftermath of miscarriage, and I was really, you know, I felt like my body had let me down, you know, but yet yoga and committing to that practice allowed me to just have this newfound respect for my body and for what it was capable of, and, you know, what it was giving me life. And I think that it's easy in the society we live in to get caught up in our physique and, you know, how we should look, and, oh, you know, you don't have the right physique for that, or this or that. And so I wonder, you know, with the women that come, you know, because you've got women from all different age groups, all different sizes and shapes, and, you know, I love to see people embracing who they are and embracing the body they have. And I wonder if you could share anything about some of the women that come in for you, or even your experience.
Yeah, well, from my experience, I had a really difficult pregnancy and a really difficult time coming back because of complications, and I just found like I really realised I didn't have any self-love for my body at all. And I think it it was always these things that were instilled in me from a child, which was great to realise, so I can move from that.
Yeah.
But I think women in general, it's like society has this thing of a perfect body, just like we have an idea of a perfect image, whether it's on social media or in life. And it's like we think that a yogi has to look this way, and a model has to look this way, and an actor has to look this way, and a runner, and they're just preconceived ideas of what we should look like or act like or be like. But really, there's no perfect yogi. There's no perfect body. We're all actually born in with completely different makeups, and you can do certain things to alter those. But at the end of the day, there's going to be an ideal weight, an ideal body for you, and it's not about skinniness or fitting the model. It's just about getting to that place for you so that you can be the best version of you and your highest self, not coming from trying to fit molds of what people are expecting. And I mean, I'm in the fitness industry, so I can definitely tell you that it does. I definitely I fight it all the time, but it comes up to me regularly about how I want to look a certain way and be a certain way, and but it's just all bullshit, really. It's not even real. And you look at, I was at the beach yesterday and I was looking at all these beautiful women and their bathers in the sun and all different body shapes and sizes, and if we can learn to just love our bodies and drop all this stuff, it'll just happen for us organically. The thing is, when you're fighting stuff, when you're trying really hard, it doesn't happen organically. That's the problem. And then when you're fighting hard against something, it's the wrong way. Life shouldn't be that hard. Life is hard. There's things, everyone has struggles and pain and suffering, but if you're going against and just hitting your head, it's not working. Like, yogis are meant to be flexible, we're meant to move, we're meant to be able to move and change the way we think and the way we